Talk about it with Fran Jazz. Today's special guest is the owner of the oldest organic and vegan restaurant in Manhattan's East Village. Today's guest is Angel. Angel, thank you very much for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's start with a little wellness check. How are you doing today?
Just beautiful. Really, I had the opportunity to assist to one of these workshops that I've been doing for 40 plus years. And then was really, really powerful. So I am full of energy and full of inner contentment, which is the highest, I believe.
Ooh, we're starting off very deep. I like it. We're going to get into all of that. But let's start from the very beginning. Where were you born?
I born in Madrid, in Spain, 1949. 1949. Oh my. I'm still a little bit affected by the work. Sorry about that.
You're full of contentment. I don't need to apologize.
1949, right, exactly. So just many years ago. A very short time, actually. Depends how you see it.
And tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Well, just I feel very privileged that my parents, they were amazing people, and I receive a lot of warmth and affection from them. And then my father got kind of challenges with health when he was in his 50s, and then he lost walking, and he couldn't talk. I mean, it was like a ictus or something like that, a kind of thrombosis, and then he couldn't recognize us. It was a little bit, and then he lost the role of father with all the responsibilities, and then the good part of this is that I become his friend. So I was like a 15, something like that, and then always the role of father, because you're father, and then, but then when you realize he was, I remember one time I was asking him about permission to do a trip or something, and he said, I don't care. He was like, he was just different person, but it was a very good to become a very close friend together, and without the role of father, just as a people, as a person. So then I realized I didn't have a father for, asking questions or protection. But then I was free. I had a lot of. My mother wanted to take over, but they couldn't. But then I was free, so I have to take my own responsibility to make decisions and all these things. So then my parents, they were good economically, so I have two brothers and one sister. They could give us studies and go to university. So I tried different careers, but I was very bad a student. I was trying to finish a career because to please my parents, because they were proud to have money to give.
What careers did you try? What did you go to school for?
Yeah, I tried biology in the university, and then I tried physics because I love music, and I thought maybe I could be a engineering, sound engineer or something like that. But didn't exist that in Spain. By that time, you have to finish physics, which was 5 years, and the last year they were just giving you a hint of acoustic.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I don't have patience for that. I just want to go into the... And really what I want is to listen music. I vibrate with music, and I love dancing. I love really music. I'm a lover of music, so I've been listening all kind of different music. And educating myself a little bit with classic music, but mainly I'm a rock a rock and roll guy from the 60s, you know. So
All right.
Jimi Hendrix, all these people.
So as a kid, what type of kid were you? Were you into sports or anything?
Of course, yeah. I am more athletic person than a scholar for anything. But also I like to study really things that, I mean, even though for nutrition, you know, I love nutrition is why I end up having a Caravan of Dreams, because combining everything, you know.
That started when you were a kid, your love for nutrition?
Actually, no. When I was about 27, 28, 29, I was getting a little bit sick with colds and flus because I used to smoke. And even though I never abused during the 60s with drugs or anything, even though you try here and there a joint, but was like a more mystic thing to have the experience of special states. But so I never abused. Some of people around me, they went to extremes. They pass away, you know, because heroin and all this and cocaine, all this. But I was pretty much.
You were safe. You were safe.
Yeah. And you know, I was more like to have the experience and mystical experiences.
So cigarettes were your thing for a few years?
Yeah, cigarettes. Yeah, and then you know, also I was eating pretty much everything, not much meat because I didn't get into that much. But my mother was saying, you have to eat everything, otherwise you have to eat everything. And so then, I remember certain, the liver. My mother was giving liver, you know, because the liver is supposed to have all these
a lot of vitamins, yeah.
And the nerves, I didn't like it, you know, the house.
It doesn't even taste good.
And I was resisting, and anyhow, so finally I left home in a good terms with my family, and then I started eating by myself, and then I was getting sick with colds and flu. I said, what is going on? I couldn't breathe very well because the congestion in this area, you know, it's just because the dairy, you know, all this is mucus forming, all this. So when you don't know, you don't know, you know. But I want to be sure that I didn't want to get sick, you know, because no one wants to be sick, you know. I remember having a girlfriend, beautiful woman, and sometimes, you know, you kiss your girlfriend, you kiss your a lover, and then in the middle of the kiss, you have to stop because I couldn't breathe because the congestion.
Absolutely.
I said, this is something wrong here. Then that what started me to investigate, to learn about food, nutrition, and all these things.
And you said that was around 27 it started?
Yeah, exactly. Around 26, 27, yeah.
So what made you think, like, that's a holistic way of looking at it, right? Yeah. What made you think of holistic and not just go to a doctor to get medicine?
Just that happened naturally. That happened naturally because I love nature. And also I was always thinking that we are part of nature and we are like trees. All of these plants, they have juices inside, and we have the veins and we have the blood. So I think it's, we are different. We have eyes, and the plants, they don't have, but the other animals, they have. So I thought we were part of the cosmos, the everything. And so it's why I was associating. Also, my father was also interested in nutrition, interested in natural medicine.
Okay.
I got from my father, actually that was a gift.
There you go.
I got from my father these books from Dr. Vander. Dr. Vander, he wrote these books in the 40s. And by that time he was recommending a diet, raw food diet, I mean crudivorous plants. For people who got very sick. So he was recommending that diet to clean them up, you know, all the toxins, you know. So also I said, wow. And then, but if you were not very sick, very medium, he was recommending like a like vegetables with maybe some eggs and dairy, lacto-ovo-vegetarian kind of diet, and also if you he was recommending also go to nature, also the water therapy, just getting water by pressure on the legs, and he was recommending this vital bath, which was starting with warm water, then more cold water in this part of the abdomen, between the here in the abdomen, all the nerves, ending nerves, they are going there. So if you activate that area with cold water, there is a healing process in the whole body. So he was recommending certain common things for all the diseases, for all the illnesses, And also for particular things, he was telling you, according with the symptoms you have to have these herbs and this type of food and this kind of habits to improve, and was working. I started studying his books. Was a 3 or 4 books, Dr. Wander. That saved me to go to the doctors, which I didn't feel very comfortable because they were with the white,
because the lab coats. I say because the medicine they're giving us is not good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's why it was a little bit neck, and they were not giving a little explanation or. Yeah. So I didn't feel comfortable with that, and then I start curing myself, following the advices of Dr. Wander with the books, and I got cured.
Wow.
I got cured from having colds and flus and congestion.
Wow.
And then I start having, especially herbs, healing herbs, normal herbs are really amazing, like thyme, rosemary, oregano. These are medicine, really. And we are putting the food, of course, it's tradition because it's medicine, really. And doesn't have to be other ones that we don't know the names, but anyhow, so I was really in love with the power of the herbs and nutrition, because I cure myself. So then, when you have the experiences, when you incorporate it in the belief system, this is definitely a good way to go. So then I started doing courses in nutrition in Spain. I remember this was like a circle with the protein, the carbohydrates, and the lactose, and this and that. Now it's a pyramid, but before
it used to be a circle.
Before it was a circle, and then the protein and this that. So I started getting kind of familiar with the names carbohydrates and protein. Was new to me. So you see, when you are young, you don't know, and then you start learning, and then I continue.
You say you started teaching classes on it?
No, continue learning.
Oh, you were just
myself.
learning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I start feeding myself at home. I remember the first teacher I had was a woman. And I called her. I said, I am at home and I don't really know what to cook. I am hungry. I want to eat something good, but I don't know how to cook. He said, okay, I will tell you very simple. You get a cabbage, right? And green cabbage or red cabbage, and you shred it, you cut it like a half cabbage, or if it's not very big, or if it's a small one cabbage, and you cut it, you shred it, and you put it in a pan. And then you get one onion, you cut it in 4, even with the peel, you put it there, or you can take the peel off, but the peel of the onion has a lot of nutrients there also. And then you get a potato, and then you wash it, and you cut it in 4, and you put it in the pan. And then you fill it with water and 1 or 2 fingers above the food. And then you can put a little bit of olive oil if you want it, and that's it. And then you you bring it to a boil, and then you cook it for 30 or 40 minutes. And was delicious.
Cabbage, potatoes, and onions.
Called hervido valenciano. It's just from Valencia, kind of that part of typical hervido valenciano. So I told my cooks at Caravan in my restaurant, and he did a couple times, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was kind of doing it with them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the first thing I learned, you know. So you never forget about this thing.
So you boil it and just take it out? Take it out, put it on a plate?
Right.
Any seasoning, any salt or anything?
Well, yeah, you can put a little bit of salt, but itself is great.
Because cabbage has a lot of flavor.
Yeah, and onions, and of course you can put a little bit of raw olive oil, extra virgin, you know, or maybe a little bit of tamari or lemon, whatever, or some fresh herbs. But just itself, sometimes when we are really hungry, that is one thing that we have to learn, to wait until we are hungry. Not to eat in a mechanical way. And then we appreciate simple things. And, you know, I've been keep learning all these kind of simple things that you are really hungry, and then we open the refrigerator, we have so many choices there. But sometimes just some fruits are great, or if you are in between meals, or something simple, you know, some peanut. I mean, some dry fruits or some nuts, you know.
And then what comes next? You heal yourself. You believe in the natural foods. What comes next?
So just then I left the university because I realized I was a torture, really a torture. To try to please my family, because the idea by that time is to finish a career and to have a title, and then you do whatever you want to do. But that was a must in order to have success and to have a title and to have, you know, to be important person, you know. The idea of that you should find whatever you are good for, that was better. Secondary. Anyhow, but through experience you learn. I mean, it was a torture to pass the exams and without being prepared enough, because I wasn't good a student, because the teachers, they were not really good. If the teachers are really good, then you get the attention, they get your attention, and then you learn naturally. But if it's about memorizing and next, I mean... Take
a test, remember this, then take the test.
Yeah, and then, so I remember the chemist people, that was really good, and I learned about the ocean and the petroleum that comes from the bottom of the ocean. You know, I said, wow, the petroleum, the gasoline comes from the magma, no, in the down in the ocean. Wow. And so, you know, it was very good. And then chemist, I like also chemist, and my father also was a kind of an alchemist. He was making at home the cologne, just for giving as a present to friends. He was doing all the lotions for the hands, for the face at home, you know. He has these books, amazing big books, by the mekums, like with all the formulas and this and that.
Wow.
So I got from him, I'm a little bit of a photocopy of my father, so I got from him these energies that he has about learning, and also alchemist, mixing things, you know. And he also was an entrepreneur. My grandfather, he had a hair salon in a very aristocratic neighborhood in Madrid, in Goya Street. I don't know how he made it, because he came from the south with no money. But he ended up having, anyhow, this amazing hair salon for women and men in the middle of Calle Goya in Madrid. Somehow, maybe he was a very lovely person. Even I didn't know him, because when I born, he was gone already.
Oh, okay.
But then probably people like him so much, he gave them money or whatever, and then all the brothers, they end up there cutting the hair and doing for women and men, you know, and the beard and the permanent for women.
Is that what your father did?
Yeah.
Nice.
So he was cutting our hair at home. All the brothers. He was an entrepreneur. He could do anything, really. So I learned a lot of I got lots of energies from him. Yeah.
And when did you come to America?
Right. So then after studying nutrition in Spain, and then I thought, was about the transition time in Spain with the political after Franco dying. And so then, before leaving Spain, I came here in 1982. So I stopped the university, and then, leaving all. I was also a pilot of aviation for 3 years.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Because
Let's go back to that story.
I was looking for something practical that you.
So you're in university.
Right.
You learned this in university, or was this outside of university?
Outside of the university. Actually, that was a way because by that time the militaries, they had all the power, and all the militaries, they were military like pilots.
Yeah.
They were going to the regular airlines, to be a pilot.
Yeah.
So, but was possible to pass the exams with the military forces, and then going to the.
Yeah.
So I had a friend, the uncle of a friend of mine. He said, "My uncle is in Iberia Airlines. He could help you because let me introduce you to him." And I said, "Okay." So then almost I finished the last exam with the military forces was the flying. With no visibility, so with the instruments, right? I was ready to pass the exam when they changed the system, and they made this idea of the University of Air. And then they didn't recognize, they didn't validate that I have the private pilot license, 30 hours as a first pilot. I have the commercial second license, 200 hours as a first pilot in small planes. And then I was in Iberia Airlines for 1 year. They were training me in DC-9, 100 passengers. We were traveling all over Europe.
Wow.
So, and then I had some value there for 3 or 4 years, And then they changed the system, and they asked me to start from the beginning,
Wow.
And that was another gift from the universe, because at this time I know, but that time was like a frustrating, but because I said, okay, at least I can be a pilot, get a lot of money.
My parents will be proud.
Please my family, all these things. But then didn't happen because this.
Yeah, they changed it.
But now I see that was a gift from the universe, because if your heart is not there completely with enthusiasm and passion for what you love, in the universe, if you believe in God or if you have faith, and give you all the problems, it's like a hint that tell you that is not a good way for you. It's not about money, everything. It's not about just, self-importance. It's not about the ego. It's not about this. So then, that forced me, because I didn't want to start all over again, teaching me what was, an airplane.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so then I asked the question, Angel, what is your heart? It was difficult for me to, after kind of promising my parents, and also they were providing money to finish a career, to say, no, I'm not going to do a career. So then I asked myself the question, I have enough light, enough intelligence to say, where is your heart? And the answer was music, was just immediately. So then you don't have any doubts that is the way you have to focus your life, pretty much, somehow related with music. So then I said, okay, after almost being a pilot, I said, maybe I can put music in the cafes and bars with this jockey, for people there, because I have all these records from the 60s, I was carrying all these records, and then, but then I started, some friends, they started, I know some people, they are setting up a bar, a cafe. I think you will be very good with them. So then I started having cafes and bars in Spain with friends, and partners. So I set up in Spain I believe 3 or 4 places before coming here.
Wow.
Yeah. So was the music there, was I was making all these drinks with no alcohol. But that time I was, because I sell so much alcohol at the beginning, Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola, like a swipes, and Coca-Cola, ron and vodka and gin, and gin tonics and cubatas, famosos Cuba Libres, the famous cubatas. Anyhow, so people drank, was too much alcohol. People couldn't somehow have a balance, and then it was a little bit not pleasant. I said, this is no good. So then I started interested in no alcoholic drinks, there is one San Francisco with no alcohol, one cocktail, and so I started, interested in that and this and that, and then that was parallel to learning about nutrition, and also I get in touch with this Sufi master in Spain, Sufi teacher. That was in 1982. And you see, I'm a little bit crazy because I thought I didn't have time to do things for myself, like yoga, traveling, dancing, music, always like money and this kind of business and.
You came from entrepreneurs, and that's the entrepreneur life is hustle, the hustle, the hustle.
Yeah, exactly. So it's why I said, I think traveling, you will have more time to do your things because I can work in different things. And then I said, okay, I'm going to start life as a trip. And then if I come back to Spain, I will come back as a tourist, passing by.
My man, I'm coming back as a tourist.
yeah, because the idea that was very strong. The idea of traveling and be free and have time for yourself, and have some money because I was able to work with anything, That was very strong. Probably I was a nomad in other lives, and the spirit of nomadic spirit is still there. So who knows?
Yeah.
But I said, you are crazy. You are going to start traveling by yourself. You're supposed to go to a place, meet someone, friends or something. And then I said, just relax. I will find friends on my way. Just relax, angel, relax. So then, not by coincidence, I met this Sufi master. I never thought about following a guru or anything like that. I was a very independent person.
What is Sufi?
Sufi means purity, the word Sufi, and it's a way of purification. It's a way of purifying. The Sufis, they said there are 3 or 4 bodies. To make it simple, they said the physical body, the mental body, the mind, the intellect, rational thinking, the logic, all of these things. That is the mind body, the intellect, the physical body, and also the emotional body. So it's physical, mental, and emotional. And then also they talk about the psychic body. So it's about a purification. It's a purification of these 3 bodies. And then they say when you purify these 3 bodies, appear another body, which is the intelligence from the heart. So the intelligence from the heart takes over of the head. So the intellect starts serving the intelligence from the heart. And the intelligence from the heart connects with the intuition. So it's like you smell what is good for you, what is good for everyone. It's why, not by coincidence, because I said, okay, I will go to London. I thought going to London, learn English there. Then going to France, perfect my English. With English, Spanish, and French, I can go all over. That was the plan. But then I met this Sufi teacher that he was doing everything I was writing in my notebook to have more time, like traveling, dancing, music, yoga. I mean, just 4 or 5 things that I want to have more time for them. And he was doing all of them. And he was traveling with a small drum, I was playing a drum set when I was 19, I love drumming. And I never fit with any group. I was very kind of anarchic, and but then I loved rhythm and I loved drumming, freedom. And then I said, wow, this man, is doing everything I want to do. I want to have more time, so maybe I should be close to him. And then other people, they were following him in Europe, traveling with him, Americans, Spanish. And so so then they said, you could come to America instead going to London and learn English in America. I said, oh, America, wow. So I came here in 1982.
With the Sufi master?
Yes, kind of together a little bit. No,
Yeah.
no, we didn't fly together because...
But you both had the conversation to come.
Yeah, I mean...
Why did he want to come here?
Not directly with him, because he was, surrounded with all the time many people and this and that. And he was like a very important person. But at the same time, he was, very simple person, very natural. And
Yeah, why did he want to come here?
I asked him, because I said, I was a little bit a skeptic. I said,
it wasn't part of your
why
plan.
Why you decide to have your center in America? And he said, my superiors asked me to do that.
Wow. So his mentor.
Yeah, is what he answered that. And I said, okay. But I was, a little bit, because I never thought following a guru or anything, but then somehow I got into this. It's like I have this mysticism part of me, is a little bit mystic. So I fit well with the silence, with the music. He was pure and beautiful music, very ancient music that I didn't know. I knew about rock and roll, but not this ancient music from 1300th century, from 1200th century, and also in Spain was a big Sufi movement during the 1100th century. And so anyhow, the Sufis also, people relate them with Muhammad and the Quran and all of these things. But the Sufis, according with my teacher, he said, come before religions. Before religions, people ask, where are we going, what we are doing here, this kind of interesting question. So it's why, I don't know, somehow I thought staying in an English-speaking country for 3 or 4 years and then go to France. But then I continued staying in America somehow, 1 year, another year. Also, in being together with dancing, a lot of dancing, because part of the Sufi tradition is the whirling, The whirling is one of the highest exercises, and also dancing, freedom, slow movements, like a Tai Chi kind of, and also chantings, repetitions, the name of God. The teacher was from Baghdad, from Iraq, so he had a tradition from his country about, he was very also dedicated, he believed totally in the Quran, so he was, but at the same time he has the universal wisdom from the Sufis, which is the essence of all the religions, is the same. Doesn't matter. You could follow whatever you want, but the essence is the same essence, and doesn't make any sense, the competition and all of this killing each other because the power, Anyhow, so it's why I fit, because I like that kind of focus in the essence, which is the same, peace and love, and what you don't want for you, you don't want for others. Very simple.
Yeah. What religion was practiced in your house when you were a kid?
Catholic.
Okay.
In Spain, everyone after the kings, Catholic kings, they get rid of the Jews and then unite the whole Spain with Catholicism. And so but my mother was a very good person, and the mysticism from her, I got that, and I love it, was the devotion that she was putting, because she was totally believing in Jesus Christ, and then that devotion, when you were a kid, you observe it and say, wow. So then I didn't follow, really.
Yeah.
And now I am learning from all the religions. I'm interested in learning if my intuition tells me something is good there, some practice or whatever, and then, but mainly I was giving more time. I was studying Kabbalah in New York because the Caravan of Dreams, it was bringing me everything, all the gifts from the best teachers in nutrition, you know, from very good people wanting to teach in the back room of the restaurant.
Let's we're moving fast. Let's get to the beginning of Caravan.
Yeah.
How did that even come about? So you come here. What state did you come to when you came to America?
New York.
Oh, all right. Manhattan?
Yes.
Oh, so you've been here the whole time.
Yes.
Nice.
We flew from Madrid to New York.
All right.
Because the teacher was here and all the Sufis, and we were getting together and have dinner together in this loft, the whole loft. Some people practicing Sufi. I mean, they had these big lofts, beautiful, with a space. So Adnan was he passed away. The Sufi master passed away, changed forms, I would say, and then now we keep together, the students getting together, you know, and doing the practices, you know, because I love dancing, I love freedom, so it's just a lot of involved, this freedom. He was saying, let the music move you, when he was putting music so you free dance. You know? Even though he was from Baghdad and he was teaching belly dance, kind of the hips, you know? But it's kind of moving the hips is international dancing. I mean, it's all the Africans and all these things. So anyhow, so 1982, I came here a little bit together with the Sufis, so I didn't have to be just by myself. That was a gift from the universe. You see, when you start going in the direction from your heart, from your intuition, always something happens that the universe give you to one step, and that step lead you to another step, and then you discover your own career, actually. Anyhow, so it's why I end up with friends and partners in Spain having cafes and bars because the music. I said, if I put music there, and then whatever we sell, in this case we're selling, alcohol or just wine, whatever, or just smoothies, whatever. And I have some tapas sometimes there. But the music, I get high, and then that is contagious, and then everyone will be happy. And that's exactly part of the success on my settings, the music. So it's the background there that if you really feel it, you get high, then it's a vibration that, and then you can sell. In this case, I went to nutrition because it's health and happiness. They go together. I saw it. They are very together. Health and happiness, Anyhow, so it's why I create a corporation, the House of Health, Healing and Happiness. The House of Health, Healing and Happiness, HHHH. Incorporated.
Nice.
And then DBA, Caravan of Dreams, like doing business as Caravan of Dreams. And people say, what beautiful name, how you come up with that name? It was just because inspired with the Sufis. The Sufis, they are nomads, they are dreamers and drummers, they are different energies there. So I was imagining, people they were asking me, what is the name? How are you going to call your restaurant? I said, I want to use the word caravan, but I'm missing something else. Caravan Oasis, I don't know what. And then a friend of mine said, why you don't call it Caravan of Dreams? I said, yes, that is the name. I didn't know. That was a book written by Adrian Shah. Adrian Shah was a Sufi writer. And the name was Caravan of Dreams. That book is available there. I didn't know when my friend told me. She didn't tell me that there is a book. He said, Caravan of Dreams, Sufi stuff. I said, yes. So you see, everything comes somehow.
Yeah.
And then, so.
That's amazing. So tell us about the first few years of Caravan of Dreams. How was it? I know music was the base. And what were you serving there in the beginning?
Yeah, just
Drinks and
I,
tapas?
I am not. I am. My father was not a chef. My father was not a cook. My father was not into restaurants business. Somehow I got there because the nutrition and the health and happiness and the freedom and all of these things, putting things together. But I knew about serving, cocktails and all of these things because the bars that I had
Yeah.
in Spain, but no food. I was not an expert. I mean, I knew a few things that I was making by myself at home. I said, "You are crazy. How you are going to set up a restaurant if you are not a chef or if you are not?" But I was learning a lot in nutrition. I was learning a lot. So then somehow, even though I was still a little bit hesitating because you're supposed to be in the kitchen, you're supposed to be, And then finally, I got the light, the clarity about you don't have to know any type of cuisine. You can use your knowledge about nutrition, and you can use your passion, your love, and your enthusiasm, and then using organic food, pure food. Sufi means purity, pure food, and then we'll be fine. Then I can get any book with all the recipes from different cuisines. I will use my knowledge about nutrition, changing if it's not vegan, if it's not plant-based, I will take the meat or the fish or the dairy out, and then I will put other type of protein plant. So it's why I lost the fear of not knowing, being in the kitchen cooking, but I knew the good food for the healthy and the good food for the sick. So the sick becomes healthy, and the healthy keeps healthy. That was the main basics of the restaurant, just to serve people, to serve the public, and myself eating good food that is nutritious. So then, what kind of cuisine? I'm not good for Spanish cuisine, for anything, even though I born in Spain. So, and then I said, yeah, that's it. Plant-based food, clean food, plant-based food, and just then the word vegan came after. I don't know, but somehow, without even, with these ingredients, I was one of the people bringing to the whole planet. You know how you see how expanded the plant-based food, the vegan. No? So it's good. It's good when we have enthusiasm and love and passion for things. They travel so fast in the quantum field, and then people get the idea. Boom, boom, start setting up places similar.
So I'm assuming business was always good. It's been open for over 30 years.
Yeah. It just happened, just one day after other, boom, boom, and all the challenges there because, sometimes I didn't have cooks. I have to put myself in the kitchen. I was very stressful sometimes, but at the same time I was proud. I said, well, I'm able to cook and serve. Because one time I was missing a waiter, waitress. I was missing a cook. Sometimes the cook, they were coming drunk. I said, what is this? Or sometimes drugs and this and that. And I was not into any of this after starting doing this, cleansing myself like a purification, and doing dancing and all this, and becoming more and more vegetarian, becoming more. It's a process, So I saw very clear that is the way for health and happiness. Plant-based food, clean food. And somehow I thought that was a good way for everyone. And somehow I was, not by coincidence, the universe gave me a chef a few days before opening the restaurant, because happened, and these miracles happen. So he came from the culinary school.
Nice.
He was enthusiastic about organic and plant-based food.
Oh, perfect.
So I told him, make a menu, one-page menu, simple, with this food, this beans, protein, and a lot of greens, and vegetables, because our alkalizing, I knew about alkalinity and acidity. We need more alkalizing diets, more alkalizing food, so more vegetables, more greens, and then some protein and some carbs there. So he made a perfect one-page menu. I said, "Oh my God!"
Perfect. Oh, that's
so
great.
now it's 4 or 5 pages menu because 33 years.
Yeah.
And I have different chefs sometimes there. But
Tell us about the coffee you have on the menu.
well, the coffee, yeah. I mean, now it's fashion that the coffee is good for the brain. The coffee is good for everything. Be careful also because it alters the nervous system. So maybe moderation is good. But so yeah, the coffee always we have the best possible quality. I love to have quality, so fair trade. Organic coffee. That is
What's in it? I meant the coffee.
what was.
What's it called? You know what I'm talking about? That's what it is, the macchiato?
Oh, the macchiato is
That's what I meant, yeah.
It's a drink.
Yeah. There you go.
But
Tell us about that
there
one.
is no coffee, actually.
I know, I thought it was like called the coffee, right?
It's a grain coffee.
There you go.
Grain coffee is made out of chicory and barley. Chicory and barley. So to make it healthy, I didn't want to use coffee. Somehow, I don't have anything against coffee, but it's possible to have similar flavor. It's not the same, but with it's very old. Before in Spain, before coming the coffee, and women start smoking all these things during the 50s. And my mother was preparing at home grain coffee, which was chicory and barley together, and it was toasted barley and chicory, and boiling water. You put that, and then start like a coffee, and then settle down the grain. Was grain. Was barley and chicory kind of grinded. Like a regular coffee. And then we were using that instead coffee, and then it's why, I knew that could be possible. So now, now they do instant. They have this mix of chicory and barley and some dates and this and that and beets, and becoming more fashion now. So I was using that instead coffee, and then a little bit of chocolate, very good chocolate that we make there. Not only with good cacao, but also I put some super botanical, super herbs, from China, from Orient, from Occident, and the best kind of things for energy, for vitality, like these mushrooms that now they are becoming popular, medicinal mushrooms, tree mushrooms, the mushrooms that grow on the trees are the best, reishi, shiitake, maitake. These names now people becoming more familiar. Shiitake mushroom, and reishi mushroom, chaga mushroom. There's
a lot of mushrooms out
very
there.
good properties for health and the immune system. They are modulators of the immune system. So if you have immune system that are hyperactive, just go down. It's hypoactive. If it's very low, it goes up. So the medicinal mushrooms, there are a few very famous now: shiitake, maitake, chaga, cordyceps, a few more. And I've been introducing them in my drinks and in the smoothies, in the chocolate. And
how do you feel about psychedelic mushrooms?
Psychedelic mushrooms. Well, when you are young, you want to have experience, whatever is kind of. To have the experience of these psychedelic states, or maybe people talk about these days. What is this thing that ayahuasca? Yeah, ayahuasca. I tried ayahuasca, but didn't really. Also, I tried ayahuasca when I was doing the Sufi work. Also, after maybe 10 years. And I lost the interest for drugs I lost the interest naturally, lost the desire for smoking. I lost the desire for drugs because I realized everybody has their own drugs, you know, and now they are becoming more popular, like serotonin and dopamine and all these things. They are very strong, more than heroin, really amazing. But people, they don't know, and you have to kind of know how to bring them up with the movements and the breathing. The body and the brain releases this. It's why people you see in WhatsApp now, you see dopamine, do this to get the dopamine out and to come to you, and serotonin and this. So it's why, it's very beautiful.
So what do you think about magic mushrooms and like spirituality?
Well, if people are...
And ayahuasca, stuff like that.
I am, as I told you, I lost the interest in any drugs outside of the plant kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there are mushrooms, but even though that, because I knew we had our own drugs, so I lost the desire for that, and I've been developing my own drugs. Naturally happen, and then you don't get sick, you don't abuse, and it's just because naturally happen. And then happen when you dance, when you move, when you breathe, when you do yoga type exercises, happen naturally. And it's not competition, it's just a process. In the Sufi work, we call Sufi work because it's a little bit of discipline that you have to put to do this work. We do a lot of exercises, and they are kind of not very strict exercises like certain postures in yoga. No, it's more like a flexibility. It's more like you find out the way you can go. You don't push too much. You don't force yourself doing the exercises. It's not rigid. It's just relaxed. So I like that. And then by doing, we call work because it requires discipline, but not discipline hard. Coercion, like pushing, forcing things. Should come discipline from the heart, just because you love it, because you love doing good things for you. Then if you do it with other people, then you are not alone at home. You do it together, So it's why I keep doing it together. We keep getting together, the students, for doing this kind of things. So yeah, it's just when you start purifying, you value more your own drugs, your own possibilities as a mother nature make it more than just from the outside, But of course, we have been young people, and when you are young, you want to try this and try that because it's appetizing, and also other friends tell you this and that, and also it's having experience. I don't regret about the mistakes that I made, really, because it's a process in life.
Absolutely.
And we learn from mistakes, actually. So it's all good and perfect.
What do you think the afterlife is?
Say it again, sorry.
The afterlife, what do you think it is?
Afterlife is whatever it is. I'm not really interested in. I'm not afraid.
I mean, do you have an opinion? No, not about fear, but do you have an opinion of what it is?
No,
you never even think about it.
My intuition tells me that probably reincarnation exists, but there are possibilities. But in reality, no one knows.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's all about imagination and intuition, whatever you choose to believe. But I'm believing more in right now, right here.
Mm-hmm. That's more important, right? I like that.
In our existence, one of my best teachers, he said, to be alive to exist is a miracle, and to be alive is an opportunity. I say, yes, then you see you have the opportunity to do great things, and then give you energy and enthusiasm to do good things. So when we exist, it's all about right now, right here. Your existence is where I like to put the value, because and now we are in this transition time that It's a lot of chaos, but probably some good things come up after. It's a cycle, you know. And now
Yeah.
I think they said we are entering in Aquarius era, and we are living Pisces, and it's 200 years every era, so probably is coming good times. Within now is there a lot of chaos because transition, you know, so I'm optimistic. I like to be optimistic.
I like that. Tell us about the difficulties with restaurant businesses today. How difficult it is.
Well, yeah, yes, the pandemic. I mean, you know,
That's when it started for you. That's when it got bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is very chaotic that you have to close, and then you don't have customers, and your place is empty. You say, "Whoa!" But somehow, I was not very afraid of because I'm losing attachment. You know, I'm losing attachments and expectations. So, then it's better to do that to deal with difficult situations. Like now, is everything is unpredictable. And we don't know if we are going to have money or not, or this. So I think the remedy is good spiritual work, good universal wisdom, to practicing to really lose and become more complete human being and be more in the present. Everyone's talking about in the moment, the present, but you have to have the experience and lose the expectations and also the fears about the future. And the past is gone, and the future is not here. So all we have in reality is right now, right here. And I tell my friends, right now, right here is the most important moment in our life. It's not the day you're going to finish that or to do that, or to win the lottery or to get the right girlfriend or no. And then to be aware of that really give you energy and be positive because it's the truth. Anyhow.
No, that's right. I love it. I love digging this deep. Part of Sufi is there a lot of meditation?
Yeah. Actually, I think life could be a constant meditation if we become more awake, more aware, and also where we are with who, you know, and also somehow just to value more whatever it is and to have love for everything around you and positive thinking, you know. All of these things are the basics. You know, the power of the thoughts are so amazing. So become more aware of that and to using the words properly they are very powerful too, the thoughts. So to be aware of that. So awake, to be awake and to be aware, very important. And so it's just practicing and to be more in the moment, to control more the thoughts, the emotions. Because first is thought after an emotion. First it's a suggestion. The objects give you a suggestion. I like this, I don't like that, or something give you suggestion, a thunderstorm or a sun. And then after the suggestion is a thought. So to choose the positive thoughts is the key. One positive thought give you an action, and that step lead you to another step, and then you are making the future. The future come to you. You don't have to go for the future. These secrets are so important. And then because then you lose fears about the future and fear about the money. And of course, everyone has different conditioning, you know. Depends the country you born, the parents you had, the environment where you grew up, the genetic load, you know, the genes you got from your parents, the parents from your grandparents. So all of these things make the personality. So some people, they have it more challenging. It's more challenging for them because they have a strong negative self, or vice versa. They have, or even. So then, but it is all good and perfect because sometimes people, after having all the calamities in life, all the problems, they wake up. many good teachers now, like Edgar Tolle, they tell you, don't expect life make you happy. No, don't expect people make you happy, the outside world make you happy. No, because it's not good way, it's not intelligent. You are going to have problems and more problems, and actually the problems never are going to stop. And we are going to finish the problems. We want to stop the problems. It's okay to diminish them, but it's always new problems are going to happen, new challenges. So then it's better not to not to go that way, just to diminish them. Of course, doing the right things, the right thinking, and the right acting. You know.
How do you help somebody that, you know how people say, I can't meditate, I just go to sleep, or I can't meditate, I start thinking about too many things? How do you, the first step to helping somebody?
Yeah, there are many different techniques in the meditation. There are kind of meditations these days. The word meditation becomes very popular. And you can meditate with a candle, you know. You can meditate just looking at one object, or trying to do some chanting, or repeating the name of God, or you can meditate. But the thoughts are always coming.
Yeah.
The movie is always there, the inner dialogue, you know, and boom, a thought, and another thought, and about yesterday, tomorrow, or whatever, or fear, whatever. So to be aware of that, the thoughts are important and very powerful, and not to force them, to stop them, because there is a constant river there. But you could diminish them, or just calming them down, calming the intellect. And then there are different techniques, depends on the teachers, different techniques. What we do in the Sufi is just pretty much putting these three ingredients. Concentration is very important in whatever you are doing. Of course, the thoughts, they are entertain us and disturbing the concentration, no? Because you are doing something, but then you have a thought about something else, and then you become mechanic what you are doing. You are not putting your focus and your concentration, your attention. It's concentration, attention, and devotion. The devotion is putting your heart, means you put your innocence, you put the best possible, the way to do whatever you are doing. You are there. Obeying something because someone told you to do this way and you don't know how to do better or whatever, should you do the way you told them, they told you, or the way you think you should do it, you know? But concentration, attention, and devotion becomes as a prayer, actually. And a prayer doesn't mean you have to go to a temple, or you can just talk with God, or you can just do whatever you want to do with these ingredients, because you put your heart, then becomes as a prayer, becomes a meditation, actually, because you are not in the past or in the future. That is the secret. When we are distracted with the thoughts and we are not putting the right concentration and attention, we are or in the past or in the future, and then we lose the essence of the present.
The moment.
So it's why everything is connected, and it's about kind of understanding and comprehending these things and start getting better, because always there's challenges, and I know it's always the thoughts coming and this and that, but most of the teachers, they tell you, if you are doing a meditation, whatever technique is, if you notice the thoughts coming from yesterday, before yesterday, whatever, or whatever you concerning of in life or preoccupation, just go back to the meditation, whatever technique is, go back to that with your concentration, attention, and devotion. You go back, and then you don't keep giving attention to the thoughts.
You know, recently what I thought a good way to help people with how to meditate is the thoughts that keep coming up. I think you have to work through those. Go work through the thoughts. Don't put the thoughts away, because we distract ourselves all day. People are on the phones all day. People always distract themselves, watching TV, always something. Distract,
Right.
and don't focus on what we need to focus on. Work through the thoughts. If the thought is something in the future, maybe think through it. Maybe it's a long trip you have to take, and you're anxious about it. Think through the trip. Plan the trip out. Get it out of your mind. Now, when you go to meditate, you're not thinking about that. You're not worrying about that because you work through it and you understand it now. Now it's not stressing you
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. So it's just good to have projects. It's good to have projects about the future and to have dreams and to have enthusiasm about whatever is good, but without diminishing the value of the present moment. So it's just good to give time to dream, also to give time for imagination. Imagination is amazing. So to use them properly at the right time, at the right moment. And, but because it's too much thinking in the wrong way, one of the big problems in the planet. Good teachers tell you, mastering the mind, mastering the thoughts somehow. Mastering the thoughts means that you are aware about whatever you are thinking, whatever you are doing, And if it's a negative thought, get rid of that as soon as possible. Otherwise, one negative thought leads you to another negative thought, another negative thought. So if it's negative, even though you don't have to want to kill someone, just being preoccupied or just being worried all the time, that is negative. Actually, someone told me that 80% of the thoughts of the common people in the planet are negative every day, 80%. Imagine. I mean,
everything is fear. Everything is fear. People are scared of always. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's why fear to death, to die, fear of this, fear of
fear not being accepted,
fear, right, not having money or this.
Yeah, money.
So it's just a learning.
Yeah, right. It's all negative. All that fear is all negative stuff. The worry, it's all negative stuff.
But it's there. So it's good to embrace it, not to resist it. Because
understand it, work through it. Understand why it's there.
Yeah. They said
the root of it.
Whatever resists, persists.
Yep.
So it's good to handle it somehow, become a friend of your ego, your negative self, and say, okay, you know more about yourself, you accept yourself, but then you do the right things to become better somehow.
Absolutely. This has been an amazing conversation. You've dropped so much good information, but is there any last words you want to give the people? You've said so much, you don't have to, but if there's any last words you want the people to hear, feel free. There's your time to shine.
Well, just to have good desires. Good desire. Everything starts from a desire. Someone said that in a Kabbalah class one time. Everything starts from a desire. And having desires is normal. You have a desire to have a car, or to have a house, to have abundance, to have family, whatever is your desires. And also there are negative desires. You want to kill someone, it's not good desire. But if it's a good desire, everything starts from a desire. So if you want to have desire to be a good person, to serve others, all of these great things, develop them and then get into that, and then they will lead you one step to another step, and then we will go higher naturally. And then you lose fears. Life becomes a paradise or a possibility.
I like that. Compile the good desires. I like that. Angel, thank you very much for the good conversation.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Really, I'm a little bit emotional talking about all of these things.
It's beautiful. I love the conversation.
Thank you for all your attention.
Absolutely.
Inviting me here.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for coming. And thank you to everybody that watched. Peace and love. That's it.